Hey y'all, what's the guan? Welcome to Cooking with Simba. So today we're going to be cooking our Zimstyle fried rice deep down and low. So we're going to have our spices here. Got paprika, we've got garlic and ginger, salt, our usawi chicken goulash, and we got our black pepper. Now what are the ingredients going into our fried rice? We got ourselves some lovely egg, carrot, black pepper, onion, rice, and then now I've just put my nice pan on the gas just so that it can lightly heat. We want a medium heat. Remember, the trick with fried rice is you don't want the oil to be too hot. You want it to be just in between. As for the choice of rice, you can use any rice you want, preferably basmati rice, but in this case I'm using long grain rice. And also the best tip I can tell you is if you're on a budget, even leftover rice from the night before can also be used to make your fried rice. So all these condiments are going to go into the fried rice. So now the first thing we're going to do now regarding how we're going to make this fried rice is in two stages. So what you need to do is get yourself a nice spoon of rice. Put it into the pan. As you can see right now, it's nicely piping together nicely. Now, for me personally, I prefer to use a lovely wooden spoon. Now, the idea right now is just to allow the light rice to simmer. Now, right now, I can tell that it's a bit too hot for me. So I'm just going to go and adjust my dowel slightly to reduce the heat. Just a bit, as you can see, like that. Nice. Now, the first stage we're going to do right now is, the trick with fried rice is to build flavor as you go. So, I've got my first batch of rice, which I just put in there. I'm going to throw in all my onion. Now, I'm just going to saute the onion with the first batch of rice that is there. Now, it depends with what your preference is. If you want your rice to have a lovely spice throughout the whole rice, then the next step you're going to do is to put your paprika. So in this stage, I'm just going to put in, we go and find our nice paprika on the side there. I would say maybe a tablespoon of paprika, but since I'm a chef now, I kind of know how much to put in. Yeah, I just put a bit extra, you know, us Zimbos love our spices. So now, we're just going to mix up all the rice, the onion, and the ingredient there. Mix it up nicely. The idea is we just want this onion to become a bit translucent to show that it's been cooked out. It's not really like breaking down, it's almost like breaking down the starches just for flavor and fragrance. That's the most important thing. That's what we're looking for right now. So we just continue with that. Now, the trick with fried rice now, as you can see from our ingredient palette, we've got carrots, we've got our lovely egg, we've got our lovely black pepper and stuff, and our spice component. Now, if you want to build flavor into this fried rice, it's a quick step. This can be done in 5 minutes. Now, to save on time and everything, I'm going to throw in my green pepper there. And once again, I'm going to go get myself another spoonful of rice. So every time you add your new core ingredient, you add your rice and your ingredient, and you just fry it down as well. Now, the trick now is peppers have this lovely, almost like lovely, juicy, tasting condiment to any meal. Every meal needs to have some peppers in it. So I think invest in peppers, especially organic peppers. They just bring the rice to life and everything. So that's the beautiful part. Now, I have a guilty pleasure. I can tell you a little story, like growing up and stuff and everything. You know, when I was 6 years old, I was brought into the kitchen, you know, I was trying to figure out how to cook and stuff, and my mom brought me to the kitchen to cook sadza. Oh my goodness. You know, sadza is one of those things that is so difficult to cook if you don't know. So in Shona, we've got this term we call mbodza and stuff, so which means that if you cook sadza with pimples and stuff and everything, in other words, we're talking about pap, for those who might not understand what I'm talking about sadza there. So I came in the first time thinking I was the Big Mac there and stuff and everything, and sadly enough, I cooked a real power mboza. And guess what? You would think that would be the end of the day. I was in the kitchen pretty much every day for the next month and a half until I was now able to cook that salsa without any lumps and everything. Okay, so now as you can see nicely, the peppers are pretty much caramelizing down, which is all nice and everything. Now we go back to our spice mixes that we have here. Now, I love to combine peppers with garlic and ginger because at the end of the day, garlic and ginger always spices things up. So just give me a second here while we open up this garlic and ginger. Okay, so what I've gone for, if you just get my camera down there. So I've just gone for already the chopped up garlic and ginger and stuff. You can also use the powdered version. It's also acceptable, but I prefer the chopped up version because it kind of gives the fried rice a little bit of pizzazz. So I'm just going to add that ginger in there, that garlic and ginger in there. And once again, remember what's the rule. Every time you add a new ingredient, you go back to your rice again, you add in another spoonful of rice to the pot again, and we start frying. So the whole idea is you're going to have multiple steps in which you're just going to keep adding this fried rice in there, just building flavor as we go. So now we're building flavor even more by simply now using the garlic, ginger into the mix here. Which is beautiful. Now here's another tip. If you're somebody who really doesn't have the time to really be building layers as you build up this lovely fried rice, you can do something else. You could simply just put all the ingredients one time, all the spices one time, and just allow everything just to fry down quickly and then let it simmer for maybe 5 to 10 minutes. That's another option, but it doesn't matter. It still works. Now, you know how they always keep talking about acid being the most important ingredient in every single dish that you make? Well, it's the same here. It applies here as well. Now, our acid component here is coming in the form of our carrots. So, we throw in our carrots as well. And once again, we get the same situation again. I go to my rice, put in the rice as well, and then now we just cook down the carrots into the fried rice as well, bringing down all those flavors, making everything sound golden and stuff. Now, the trick with fried rice is, remember, you still want to have the integrity of the rice. You still want to have that crunch. You want to have a difference in crunches. You really want to create a fried rice that when people actually have the first mouthful, they can taste every component. Like right now, I'm sure I can taste the carrots, the peppers, the onions and stuff. The last thing you ever wanted to have is a bland fried rice. It really puts people off and it's not quite good. And we don't want that. We want our fried rice to have a lot of love and flavor. Shaky, shaky, shaky. You know what I'm talking about? Okay, so now that we've got the carrots, giving us a little bit of color, a bit of vibrance into this fried rice that we're cooking right now. What's the next condiment we have here? We got the eggs, haven't we, people? We got our lovely, lovely eggs. We're throwing our eggs. Now, with eggs, this is where I go a bit extreme. I usually just add a bit of pepper in there. So I now incorporate, once again, what are we forgetting, guys? We need, once again, to scoop another bit of rice again. Every time you add an ingredient, we need to add some more rice again. We want to pile up the flavor with every layer to that fried rice. We cannot do that if we don't do it correctly. So now we continue to cook out the rice, as you can see right now. As you can see, we're seeing all the flavors, we're seeing all these things coming together, which is all beautiful and stuff. I can even smell the flavor and stuff and everything. Oh, let me just check something. Oh yeah, my gas is still there. Almost thought that my gas is switched off. That would be terrible for this dish. We can't have that. So yeah, we've got our peppers in there. Perfect. Now, what's the next? So I think we've got all our ingredients now, isn't it? So as you can see now, how this fried rice is coming together now. I've got our green peppers, our carrots and stuff and everything and stuff. So now, what I would recommend now is, depending on whether you're a spice person or you're a non-spice person, you can repeat those ingredients again, which is the ginger and garlic, the paprika, and the chicken goulash, usawi, and your black pepper and your salt. Salt is the last thing you always put. If you've noticed, I have not put any salt at the start of my cooking because I've got relatives who are diabetic and stuff and everything and stuff. So I have to be very mindful of the amount of salt I put in my food. So I always choose to put the salt at the very end. Yeah, and sometimes you can even eat something without having salt, just for the health conscious people out there. Okay, but in a nutshell, simply put, this is how your fried rice is going to look like once you've done all the mixing and the stuff. You can probably, the good thing about fried rice, you can even keep it in the fridge for at least 2 to 3 days, preferably in the deep freeze if you're going to have it multiple times. It could even be a good power snack, especially if you're coming from the gym, because you get your quick dose of protein, starch, and carbs in one meal. Worth looking into. So yeah, thanks guys for joining me today for Cooking 101 with Simba. We cooked some lovely fried rice. And that's the beautiful part. And yeah, I did do cookout some time ago, but mache and stuff. So I'm always looking for new things. But right now I'm just gonna enjoy myself with a nice drink, which is pretty much vodka, lychee, mazoe, our proud mazoe from Zimbabwe. Peace out next time. Enjoy the recipe.